This figure pretty much exceeds my expectations for what I thought it would be. This is really, I really can't believe that this is what Freeing was doing a couple years ago. This is just an awesome figure. Freeing at this point is really only well known for their 1/4 bunny figures, but they really did some awesome scales at this scale. I believe is at the 1/8 level. It's just outstanding. Although it does have its issues, the attention to detail on this Ramlethal figure is outstanding. Now, one of the greatest aspects of Guilty Gear design is that they love to add in pretty much these little one-liners, these phrases onto the character's clothing. If you look at her cloak, you'll see the phrases rattle, since whenever, just west of wherever, here I reign, far east of elsewhere, there you remain. What is right when all that's left is wrong? Right here is where I'm left. Here, in the middle of nowhere, I shall be slain. There are just such cheeky one-liners all over this figure, and I'm all here for it. It's one of those things where I feel like the sculptors didn't have to do this to really like sell this character, to really just kind of sell it as Ramlethal, but they went the extra mile. And I really miss that about Freeing. I hope they do more of these figures in the future. But other than that, her sculpt is just immaculate. From her head to her toes, they are so well sculpted. I can kind of see why she is as pricey as she is. Detailed fingernails, her face sculpt is so good. It's such a refreshing thing to see, to really see like the level of effort, the level of care with this sculpt. It makes me feel a little bit better for overpaying. Well, I mean, at this point, I shouldn't even say it's overpaying. I paid lower than what other people would have paid for this one. Even her cape also is absolutely immaculate. Just the rows of teeth, the red fleshy interior. There's just not an inch of this figure that hasn't been worked on. I'm incredibly happy to now be an owner of this figure. I would even argue that conceptually, this figure is superior to every other Ramlethal figure on the market, whether that's the Nendoroid or the Max Factory version. I believe this one is the best one. On top of that, unlike a other special Ramlethal figure, yes folks, her hat is removable without leaving a Lego brick behind. The only thing that holds it back really is its manufacturing defects. Unfortunately, the gold paint that they used for the little rivets in her cloak will bleed and oxidize over time. So it leaves a yellow staining in her cloak, which is incredibly unfortunate. However, this particular figure, her staining is only really visible from the backside of her cloak, so it honestly isn't as bad as some of the other Ramlethals I've seen in the aftermarket. I would say she still looks really good. She still looks fantastic even after all of these issues. I believe this might just be a case of this one just didn't oxidize as badly, and I'm sure it also depends on keeping conditions. It probably depends on the humidity that she's being displayed in and all those variables. Either way, it's an inevitability that if you own this figure, it is going to bleed its gold, no matter how perfect it is. So my tips for hunting for this figure, just make sure that the owner of the figure sends you plenty of pictures of her from multiple angles, and you can decide whether or not that is worthwhile for you. I cannot stress enough how great it is to have this figure. This is pretty much one of my, my grail list. This is really close to the top. The only figure I have maybe a little bit higher than her is Camilla from Fire Emblem Fates, but I don't know if I will actually pull the trigger, especially because her aftermarket is absolutely nuts. And I also have one more grail to show off, but I'm going to leave that to another video. And with that, thank you very much for joining me on this unboxing. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!